I'm Ryan from ExtremeTerrain.com, and this is my review of the hitch-mounted cargo carrier fitting all 1987 to 2016 Wranglers. This version has 12-inch tall sides, but there's also a version with 7-inch tall sides to fit your needs. Whether you have a YJ or a larger 4-door JK, space is always at a premium in our smaller Jeeps. And if you're somebody who likes to go tailgating or camping, or you just have a lot of gear to haul around, you'll want a little bit of extra room. So if you have a 2-inch receiver, this is a really nice option. Now obviously you're not going to leave something like this in place when you're doing hardcore off-roading, but it'll definitely help get your stuff to your campsite. This rack gives you plenty of extra cargo space. It's 4 foot by almost 2 foot, and this version has the 12-inch tall sides, but like I said before, there's also a version with 7-inch tall sides. I like that those slats on the bottom are nice and close together so you can hold some smaller items without the risk of them falling right through, and there are plenty of spaces to attach bungee cords or ratchet straps to keep all your stuff where it should be. Anytime you're hanging cargo off the back of your Jeep, weight is definitely important, and one of my favorite parts about this rack is it's built from aluminum, so the whole thing only weighs 22 pounds. And it's finished off with this durable black powder coated finish, which will hold up really well, and it looks good. The rack itself is rated to hold 300 pounds of cargo, which is probably more than you'd be able to fit in there. The basket on this rack is really well built. You can tell when you look at the welds, and it doesn't flex. I like the basket. However, something I noticed about this cargo rack and a lot of other hitch-mounted cargo racks is that they sit pretty far back from the Jeep, and anytime you're getting all that weight further away from the vehicle, you're causing additional leverage. Now, the space between the rack and the spare tire is a good thing because you can run a really wide tire, and it doesn't matter what back spacing you have on your wheel, you're not going to have a clearance issue. However, again, the further you get away from the Jeep, the more leverage there is. Something else we noticed when we were installing this rack is there is a little bit of a wiggle. Now, I don't think it's anything that's going to cause the rack to fall off when you're going down the road, but it was something that we noticed. There is a little bit of assembly required when you get the rack home. The basket itself comes fully assembled, but you will have to put on the receiver bar and the support braces. In order to do that, you'll put the basket upside down on a table or on the ground, put the receiver bar on top, and then the support braces on top of that. After you have the 6 bolts, washers, and nuts loosely in place, you can start tightening everything down. That assembly is something that you're only going to have to do one time. After the basket's assembled, you can put it in and out of the hitch as many times as you want in just seconds. However, you will need a standard hitch pin to hold it in place. The initial assembly shouldn't take you more than 20 minutes, and the only tools you'll need are a 13mm socket and open end wrench. I do think you get a lot of value for what you pay for this. Again, it has a really solid powder coat finish, and I like the fact that this is aluminum. If you're somebody who is going to be using the rack every single weekend, or especially if you're going on the beach where you have that salt air and that salt water, I think having a well-built aluminum rack like this is definitely worth the extra money. If you're somebody who's just using the rack maybe once a year to go on vacation, maybe you can get away with one of the less expensive racks. So if you want to add a little bit of extra cargo space to your Wrangler and you have a 2-inch receiver, I think this hitch-mounted cargo rack is a really nice choice. It's really well built, really lightweight, and it's going to hold up over time. So that's my review of the hitch-mounted Cargo Rack XL fitting all 1987 to 2016 JKs that you can find right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.